If they wanted to get really crazy, they can try to reinstitute the draft. That will only breed more resistance. I don't see how they get out of this. I think it's just going to end with the decline of empire. So, yeah. My name's Greg Stoker. I'm a former United States Army Ranger. I now do geopolitical analysis and commentary on social media, and twice a week I host a live stream called State of Play on Mint Press News. I enlisted right out of high school for my own personal reasons. Basically, just like I needed to get the hell out of there as soon as possible, and I would have paid for college. And I was, a self-described liberal at the time, and they're just as prone to warmongering and hawkishness as any hardened conservative. So when I started getting more plugged into the intelligence synchronization process, I'd be in like tactical operations centers, which is basically like the big command tent with like the Hollywood ISR feeds, and like just watching these drone strikes under Obama play out. I think he's as much of a war criminal as George W. Bush, because we had this guidance coming down from the executive branch that demanded a certain quota of drone strikes and also didn't require a standard of proof for who we were really drone striking. So maybe if you ended up on the wrong contact list because you were some guy's baker, I don't know. I've seen things with like less standards of proof than that. So.
Sorry, there was a quota for drone strikes?
I mean, that was the understanding. You will never find it written down. But there was definitely a quota for special operations missions. To the point where we were going and striking what we call dry holes. Basically, warrant an incredibly expensive and complicated special operations night raid. And then we just go into the house, just a random family, bust in, blow out all the doors. Sorry, here's some cash. What are we doing here? Well, after I got out, there was a good 5-year period where I just didn't even think about it. I was like completely unplugged from the news. I did what a lot of vets are actually doing now. Being like, I'm just taking care of myself. Living my own life. I did my time, and I wasn't thinking and how I am now. I came to a place, I don't know, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, psychically, I don't know, where I could get back into it and re-engage. And that really started with the Fall of Kabul. Like, that affected us so much. It was like, really? We all knew it was bullshit at that time, but like, this was really bad. It just seems like we pulled out when the imperialist cycle was completed and it was no longer viable. I have a lot of veteran friends who are very anti-war now. And one of the things we talk about is, what if I grew up in Gaza with this horrendous unemployment rate? They do the roof knocks, the mowing the grass. And so some of my military just buddies who I served with, like, talk about like, oh, you're supporting terrorism now. It's like, dude, I know you. If you were born there's no way you wouldn't fight. It's just like, give me a friggin' break, dude. So people are seeing it be so insane and monstrous that they're starting to question other things. Like, this is so messed up. What's actually happening in Ukraine? The new generation watched like us millennials sign up for some BS, come back with like horrendous suicide rates. We fought in Vietnam, shouldn't have done that. Desert Storm, shouldn't have done that. Afghanistan, shouldn't have done that. Iraq, shouldn't have done that. But you know what? I'm sure the next war will be completely justified. What happens when your contract ends, you have to re-enlist. That's how the military maintains itself. You have re-enlistment incentives. You get like a certain amount of money if you re-enlist again for another contract, and that's called retention. So you're gonna see a massive plunge, and not only in recruiting, but retention is going to be horrible. So you're going to lose all these skilled personnel with like 10 years of experience. They're not going to choose to do 15 years. They're just going to get out now. And I've talked to a lot of them. It's like, yeah, I have a family. I'm going to ride this out for another 2 years. I'm going to put in plans in place to have another job outside the military, and I'm not going to re-enlist. You can't fight wars if no one's going to sign up to join them. If they wanted to get really crazy, they can try to reinstitute the draft. That will only breed more resistance. I don't see how they get out of this again, cascade failure. I think it's just going to end with the decline of empire. So if you're thinking about getting involved, just show up. And if you've already shown up, I'm trying to normalize wearing your old fatigues if you're not too fat to fit in them anymore. Mine are kind of tight, but wear them to the protests. They confuse cops. They make people feel more safe. So get involved. I'll just say you will feel better about everything if you just do that.